Hi friends, thank you so much for joining me today for this balance flow. We are going to have a lot of fun balance poses for sure, but mostly we're thinking about balance within. So we'll have a major focus of finding balance, noticing when you're out of balance, and trying to think of small things you can do to bring back your balance. So I hope you enjoy. Play some fun music as always, grab some water, and meet me on the mat. Hi there friends, namaste, and thank you so much for joining me for our balance flow. If you have a block, it might be handy. If you don't, no worries, we can get by without it. We're going to start standing today. So come onto your mat and find mountain pose. And in mountain pose, we mostly want to think of sort of grounding and calming down. Let's think of pressing our feet into the mat. Our feet are right under our hips and they're parallel to each other. And then we think about making the connection between where the feet hit the mat. We want it to be sturdy and secure. From there, we build up with strong legs. We engage the core. And we bring the shoulders down and back, palms forward. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Let's do that a few more times, just settling down briefly. Catching our breath, and then starting to lengthen the breath by matching the length of the inhale to the length of the exhale. We just want to deepen the breath in this way, finding a natural rhythm with it. And then maybe even starting to breathe in a way where we're filling the lungs from bottom to top. And as we breathe, just checking in with how we're getting along today. This might be the first time you've thought about that all day long. How are you getting along? How has your day been? How are you feeling? How is your mood, your energy level, your stress level? Give yourself the gift of checking in and seeing how you're doing. And that goes right along with our intention today of finding balance. Acknowledging that it's easy to get out of balance. So we want to check in with the 3 layers of you. Your physical self, your mental self, and even your spirit. Just noticing if there's anywhere that you feel that you've gotten out of balance. And if you're able to identify something, thinking if there's one small thing you can do today to help bring back some balance. Just one small, tiny thing. Let's bring our hands to prayer position in front of our heart, just thinking on that focus, on that intention of finding balance within and taking one tiny step today to bring about balance. On the next inhale, let's reach the arms up and overhead, lengthen the body. Exhale, swan dive, hinge from your hips, keeping your back supported all the way down. On the inhale, come right back up, hinge up from the hips, reach up. Exhale, swan dive down again. We'll do this a few more times. Let's think about moving with our breath and moving really mindfully. This is our first movement on the mat. So we want to notice how it feels now that we're moving, how our body feels. Listening to our body this whole practice. On the inhale, swan diving up. Exhale, take it down again. Swan dive down. This time, stay down. Let's bend the knees a good bit. Inhale, lift the spine to a flat back. We're trying to be parallel to the floor-ish. And then we're drawing shoulder blades together and then pulling them away from the head and neck. Hands can go to the thighs, to the shins. They can hang and reach, whatever helps you. Activate those back muscles, working on posture, monkey pose, or like a tabletop. So try and be flat and strong. On an exhale, release back down to forward fold. You can lengthen your legs a little bit if it feels nice. Just listen to your hamstrings. On the next inhale, let's reverse our swan dive. Come all the way back up. Let's do it all over again. Exhale, swan dive down. Bend the knees, inhale, monkey pose. Activate the back muscles. When we release this on the exhale, we want it to feel really nice. On an inhale, reverse swan dive back up. Exhale, let's do it one more time. Exhale all the way down. Bend the knees. Inhale to monkey pose. Exhale to forward fold, lengthen the legs. On an inhale, swan dive up. Exhale into your prayer pose. Having a deep breath in. Exhale. Getting warm. So adding in a chair pose today. Think about feet are planted, center of gravity's at the hips. Let's send the hips down and back, aware of our knees. Though we try not to let them start to jut forward too much because that shifted my weight forward. Instead, think of keeping your knees somewhat over the ankles and center of gravity's at the hips. On an inhale, let's rise up, reach up. Exhale, come back down into that chair pose. Breathe in, rise, reach through the sides of the body. Exhale, chair. We're pulling in the core on chair pose as well. And that helps support your spine and protect your lumbar from getting strained or achy. Last couple, let's think about coming down a little bit lower every time. Finding your best chair. Awesome job. On the inhale, reach up. Exhale, relax. Good, let's touch our shoulder taps. Give your elbows some big circles, benefiting your shoulder joints, just getting some mobility work in your shoulder joints. Let's go the other way with it. And relax. On an inhale, reaching up. We can just reach or we can even interlace. It's totally up to you and what's comfortable in your joints. Let's pull the core in a lot. And then have just a gentle little side stretch one way. Inhale, bring it up. And again, engage your core. Exhale, go the other way. On an inhale, rise. Exhale, rest, prayer pose. So think about stabilizing feet, knees, hips. None of them are going to move. Pull in your core. On an inhale, rise up. Exhale, twist to your left. Look over your back hand. Inhale, rise up to neutral. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale. Let's start to move with our breath again. We're using our obliques to pull us around. So feel the abs warming. And again, we're thinking of stabilizing at the knees and the hips. They don't move at all. It's really easy to let them start to get involved with the twist, and before you know it, we're just sloppy. So think about keeping everything in line, stabilized. We never want strain on our joints in yoga. And we never want pain. So we start to learn the difference between being challenged in our muscles, which is a good thing usually, versus pain in our joints, which is something we don't want. On the inhale, rise up. Exhale, rest. Awesome job. So on the next inhale, reach all the way up. Start to swan dive. We'll stop halfway down. We're heading into airplane pose. So it's like that monkey pose we just did. We have strong back muscles. We're pulling shoulder blades together. And then now we're reaching our arms back. And if we really reach, we start to feel the triceps working too, the back of the upper arms, which is a good thing. So breathe in. Pull your core in. Maybe bend your knees a little more. Flatten that back. On the next exhale, release to forward fold and step to downward facing dog. We want to plant the hands firmly. For now, let's bend the knees, aim the tailbone up. We're pulling our shoulder blades down the back. When we do that, we feel more stability at the shoulders. Let's bend one knee, press the opposite heel toward the mat, stretching, and then gently alternate. Do that a couple times. Deep breaths. On the next inhale, ease the knees down to the mat for all fours. Plant the hands right under the shoulders. On an inhale, aim your tailbone up, lift your heart for cow. On an exhale, point the tailbone down, round for cat. Inhale, return to cow. Exhale, return to cat. Start to move with your breath again. Gently moving throughout these cat and cow poses, which are giving our spine a lot of love if we're really careful about it. We're moving through extension and flexion of the spine, and we want it to feel nice. Let's have one more. Stabilizing the shoulders as well. Finishing in a cat stretch before coming to neutral all fours. So, heading into our first balance pose today. Let's lift the right leg directly back behind us, flex at the ankle, and then maybe lift the left arm as well. Things we want to be aware of here is our right shoulder. We have to keep it stabilized. So your right shoulder is strong. You're lifting up through that arm, lifting up through the shoulder. We want to pull the core in, and we want to level the hips. So tempting here to start to shift your weight to that left leg or tilt the hips, but let's try and prevent that as best as we can. Keep reaching in opposite directions. Maybe we're looking straight down. Coming back to our focus today, finding balance. Noticing when you're out of balance and trying to think of small things you can do to return to balance. On an exhale, release the arm. Touch your toe down, and let's bring this left foot and shin behind you and place the knee right under the hip for a kneeling side plank. We'll put the block under the left hand. Inhale, rise up through the right arm. We're squeezing the glutes to press the hips forward, and let's look up. We're making sure there's no pain in any joint. We're stabilizing this left shoulder. Gazing up, let's relax at the face. Finding balance in the pose and striving to find balance within. Let's reach over the head and the ear for a couple breaths, lengthening the side body. Option to lift the leg if you want to, flex the ankle if you do. Let's have one more breath in. Exhale, release the leg, release the arm, come back to your all fours pose. Good. So this time let's reach the left leg straight back and the right arm forward. So we're holding this for a few breaths. Stabilize your weight-bearing shoulder. Reach your right arm forward. Pull the core in and reach through that flexed ankle through the heel. Again, we're trying to be like a flat tabletop. So constantly checking in with the hips, that they're level, that we're not shifting weight to our right side. We're breathing, looking straight down, relaxing the face. On an exhale, bring the arm down and just touch the toe down. Let's bring the right shin and foot behind us. Then we might need to scoot the knee underneath the hip a little bit more. Put the block under your right hand. Inhale, reach up. So let's squeeze the glutes to press forward. Let's lengthen the spine as best as we can. And our wingspan, we're trying to really lengthen here. So active arms and active shoulder blades. If we'd like to, reaching over the head and the ear, let's gaze up. Core is active. And right now, that left foot is planted in the mat. Relax the face. Option to lift that left leg for the last couple breaths here if you want to. We'll touch the foot back down, ease down to all fours pose. Just keep the block handy and nearby. Let's take an exhale to child's pose. Lengthen through the sides of the body and the spine in extended child's. We'll tuck the toes, plant the palms, and inhale, lifting to downward facing dog. Having a breath. On the next inhale, let's float the left leg up in the air. Exhale, hug the knee underneath you, step it through into a low lunge. Look forward, find length in your spine. On the next inhale, rise up into a crescent lunge. We're pressing through the back heel, zipping up the core. So here's a little balance flow for us today. Let's first find a gaze directly in front of us. In yoga, we call that our drishti. We're gazing forward, relaxing the face. On an inhale, let's lift that right knee out in front of us. Hands come to our prayer pose. Let's step it back to lunge again. Maybe lift the arms back up. Let's do it again. Let's bring the knee forward, prayer pose. Step it back to lunge. Arms lift. Still gazing forward one more time. Lift that knee. Flow it back. Now we'll lift it forward one more time, this time holding. Good. Pull the core in. We can bring the left arm diagonally across the body to the right knee. Open up into a standing balance twist. Gazing wherever you can, wherever that twist takes you, not forcing it in the neck. We'll bring it forward again, hands come to prayer pose. Bring heel toward the glute, step it back, lunge. On the inhale, rise the arms back up. Well done, that's a hard one. Let's bring arms back down to airplane. So arms by our sides. We've already done airplane once today. We're going to do it several times. Let's really engage those shoulder blades, pulling them together, reaching through the fingertips. And on an inhale, hinge from your hips, easing into airplane. Keeping the spine tall, pressing through your back leg all the way through the back heel. Breathing deeply, balancing. If you want to make this a little bit harder, we can reach our arms overhead. So now we're reaching through fingertips, pressing through the back heel. On an exhale, ease it down, shift your weight to your left leg, come up into tripod. If we have the block, we'll put it under the left hand, stabilize, heading into half moon pose, or stay right here. If you want to go to half moon, we start to open our hips toward our right, flex your ankle. Maybe we lift that right arm up in the air. Half moon pose, revolving the hips and the chest open. On an exhale, release the arm. Step your leg down to forward fold. Have a breath. Keep your block handy. Let's step back to downward dog again. Have a breath in your downward dog pose. Then we'll do the other side. Option to lift your right leg up in the air. Hug it through, step into your lunge. Other side, right foot forward. Let's look forward, lengthen the spine. Catch your breath. On the inhale, come up into your crescent lunge, pressing through your left heel this time. Pulling that core in. Finding our gaze straight out in front of us, helping us to balance and helping us to focus. Maybe on an inhale, we lift the left knee in front of us. And on an exhale, we step it back, lunge, lift the arms. Maybe we flow the knee back up, whoop, and then we step it back. Flowing one more time, lifting the knee, stepping it back into lunge. And then this time we lift the knee and we'll hold. Pull that core in. If you want to add the twist, cross your right arm diagonally across the body, open up into your twist, reaching your left arm back this time. So again, gaze can follow wherever the twist leads us. So we can look straight ahead if we need to, or we can look over the back hand. Let's untwist. Prayer pose, step it back to lunge. Get your balance, look ahead. And then inhale, crescent lunge, reaching up. Really press through your left heel and even lift your left knee to give you a little more stability. And then swim the arms down for airplane. Pull the shoulder blades together, reach through your fingertips, work the triceps. Keep your core zipped up. Let's hinge from our hips, coming into airplane pose. Finding our gaze a few feet in front of us on the floor. Relaxing the face, balancing. Option to bring the arms up and overhead, really pressing through the back heel, reaching through the fingertips. Have one more deep breath. And on an exhale, flow the arms down, shift forward to the right leg, lift the left leg up in the air, tripod. We'll have the block handy for half moon if we want it. We can stay right here in tripod if we'd rather. If we want half moon, we flex the lifted ankle. We start to open the hips to our left. Maybe we open the left arm up. We can look down if that helps us. We're trying to lengthen both legs and both arms. On an exhale, ease the arm and the leg down to forward fold. Rest for a breath. Deep breath in and out. Have your block nearby. And then let's step the right leg back for warrior one. So keep that left knee bent. Let's hinge up. Reach up through the arms. Engage that right foot, press it into the mat, and then bend your left knee. Warrior one. So we're trying to square our hips to face the short side of the mat right in front of us. We're trying to lift up through the sides of the body, reaching up. And then let's swim the arms down and back, maybe interlacing to stretch the chest, or just reaching hands for one another. Our goal here is simply to open across the heart and chest. Stretching. Press through your right foot more. Feel all the work in the back of your right leg. We're kind of stretching at the calf, but working at the glute. Stretching at the right hip. On an exhale, release the arms. Let's start to find airplane one more time. Hinging down. Have a breath in. On your exhale, lengthen your left leg, easing into pyramid. We can use our block if we want to. Whatever helps you lengthen your spine in pyramid. Think of treating your spine like we did in monkey pose at the beginning of this practice. So we're drawing up into that flat back. And then if you want to deepen your stretch for the left hamstring, we can do it by hinging from the hips. But we're trying to keep some length in the spine. Stretch the hamstring, but don't lock either knee. Both feet press down equally. To ease into warrior three pose, we'll bend that left knee. We'll bring our torso back parallel to the floor again. Reach back into airplane. Oh, this will be the last time per side. I lied a second ago, sorry. So maybe now if we want to, we shift to the left leg. We lift, we come to the right tippy toe, and then maybe we lift that right leg up in the air. Warrior three. Trying our best to level hips like we did in that all fours pose earlier. Having one more breath. Releasing to a forward fold. Catching your breath, have about 2 deep breaths here. You can let your head and neck relax. And then stepping your left leg back for warrior one. Same sequence, other side. So bend the right knee, hinge up. Reach up through your arms. Get your back foot planted. If you need to move your stance, move it. Just set it upright. We want it at that 45-degree angle at the foot. And then we want to press the hips so that they face the short side of the mat in front of us. So press, 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 press. Down your back leg, into your back foot, the left side. Reach up through your arms, bend your right knee. So right off the bat, hopefully we feel the stretch in the left hip and some work in the left glute. Keep pressing down your leg, gazing forward, relaxing your face, and then swimming the arms down and back. Option to just reach hands for one another, or option to interlace, whatever is more comfortable for you and your joints. Remember what I said, in yoga we don't want to strain the joints. So find your happy place here. Deep breathing, finding your gaze in front of you, finding balance within today, your physical self, your mental self, and your spirit. Coming back into balance. Let's release the hands. Bring them into airplane arms. Draw shoulder blades together. Hinge from your hips. We'll stop when we're parallel to the floor. Reach through those triceps and fingertips. And then exhale, come down to your block. Nothing else has changed though. We want to make sure hips are still squared. So we press our right hip back and our left hip forward. And then let's start to lengthen the right leg. Again, never locking the knees. Treating our spine like monkey pose, that flat back position, and then hinging from your hips to increase your stretch. So we're listening to the hamstring that we're not overdoing. Let's listen to our breath, matching the inhale to the exhale. Relaxing our face. To head into warrior 3, let's bend the right knee, stack it directly over the ankle. Let's bring the torso back up parallel. Find that airplane pose. You can move the block if it's bothering you. Airplane pose, activating the back, reaching through the fingertips, and then we shift to the right foot, come up to the left toe, and then start to hinge. Let's point the toe, reach through the crown of the head. We're trying to be like a T. So legs are both as long and straight as we can get them, engaging those core muscles and back muscles. On an exhale, release to forward fold. A deep breath here. Exhale. On an inhale, let's swan dive up. Hinge up from your hips. Reach up, rest in our prayer pose. Deep breath in. Exhale. Checking in on how you're doing and how you're feeling. We'll have one more balance pose today, if you want to. Starting in mountain pose, feet right under the hips, parallel to each other. Hands in prayer pose. Let's take a deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, come into chair pose again. Remember, send your hips down and back. For eagle pose today, if we want it, let's shift to the left leg. Let's cross the right over it. You can always hover if you'd rather. To add in the arms, let's bring the left arm up first and the right arm underneath. We lift up through the elbows. We point our fingertips toward the sky. Maybe we send the hips down just a little bit more. Have one more breath here. We'll undo the arms first, and then the legs, chair pose. Inhale, rise. Exhale, come back into chair pose. Let's shift to the right leg this time. Maybe we just let the left leg hover, or maybe we cross it for eagle. If you want to add the arms in, the right arm up first, left arm winds underneath it, lifting those elbows. We're gazing past the wrists so that we don't lose our balance. Maybe lowering the hips one more inch. And you might find that one side is easier to balance on than the other. That's pretty normal. To come out of it, unwind your arms first. Come back to your chair pose. Low chair, have one breath. Inhale, we rise. And exhale, let's take a swan dive all the way down. We'll come to our all fours pose and ease down to a seated position on the mat. When we get down, let's find our hip bones so that we can sit up tall and align the pelvis correctly. We'll bring soles of the feet together for butterfly stretch. So let's hold at the ankles. Let's bring our spine to a nice tall place, shoulders back and down. Let's close the eyes. Have a couple deep breaths. If we can bring our spine up even a little taller, and we're seated upright, we can also stretch the neck, letting the left ear go toward the left shoulder. Bringing it up to neutral and going the other way. Bringing it up to neutral, hinging from your hips, leaning forward, stretching inner thighs, relaxing your face. Let's come back to that evenly paced breath, matching our inhale to our exhale. On the inhale, rising back up, lengthening our legs. And let's cross the right leg over the left, placing the right hand behind the right hip and reaching the left arm forward. Let's lengthen the spine. Have a big breath in. As we exhale, twist toward your knee, hug it to your chest. Continue your twist by turning the neck and then the head last. Relaxing at the face. Making sure this twist feels really nice. Steady breathing. And on the exhale, easing out of the twist. Good. Extend the leg. Let's do the other side. Cross your left leg over your right. Left palm behind the left hip. Sturdy left shoulder. Reach forward with your right arm. Have a big inhale, lengthen the spine, and then twist. Hug your knee to your chest. Relaxing the face. Coming back to that idea of cultivating balance in your life. Noticing when you're out of balance. And when you notice it, it's a good thing. And then we try and think of one small thing we can do to bring balance back. On the next exhale, unwind your twist. Hold the back of that leg. Use your core muscles to help you. And let's ease on down to a supine position, hugging knees to chest, flattening your back. Good. Let's put hands on the kneecaps. Open the knees out in opposite directions, making big circles at your hip joints. Gentle hip mobility work. Reversing the direction. And then floating the feet down to the mat. Let's place our arms out wide in a T, palms down, and then heel toe our feet wider than our hips, maybe to the edges of the mat even. We'll lower our knees to the right, letting the left hip rise. We'll bring it up to neutral. We'll lower our knees to the left, letting the right hip rise. Gently stretching through the side and the hip. Hopefully this feels great for your low back too. Let's bring it up to neutral. We'll do it one more time. Let's go to the right. Still having that steady, evenly paced breath. We'll bring it up to neutral and we'll go to the left. On an inhale, bringing knees up. And then even hugging them to the chest one more time. This time, hands on the kneecaps, guiding the knees around in small circles clockwise together. Giving your back, your low back, a little relief. And then reversing the direction. Let's exhale, release feet to the mat, arms by our sides, palms up. We can extend our legs long if we'd like to. We'll have a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose, closing the eyes. Let's have one more deep breath here. And then just releasing into the mat, letting your breath just head back to normal. We want to let our whole body relax. Maybe Maybe giving yourself a little mental scan, starting at your toes, working all the way up the body, relaxing as you go. Maybe we make it to the ankles, to the calves, relaxing the thighs, letting the hips melt into the mat, letting the abdomen soften, letting your shoulder blades sink into the mat, letting your arms relax all the way down to your fingertips, letting your neck rest, relaxing at the throat and the jaw, relaxing at your face, including your forehead, including the outer corners of your eyes. Just let yourself rest. Coming back to that intention today that we set of cultivating balance in your life. Keeping in mind the 3 layers of you, your physical self. Are you taking care of you? Your mental self. Are you taking care of you there? And even your spirit, making sure that nothing's out of balance or out of whack. And again, it's easy to get out of balance. So if we find that we identify a place where we've come out of balance, it's good that we've identified it. And we just think of one small thing we can do today to bring about balance in our lives. So what is one small thing you can do for you today? And I highly recommend, if you have the time, to stay here a few more minutes, resting. And if you need to get on with your day, bringing feet to the mat, hugging knees to chest, and releasing the feet to the mat again, where we'll roll to our side. When we get to our side, just pausing for a breath, and then pressing up slowly and gently to a seated position on your hips again, whatever's comfortable. Lengthening your spine, closing your eyes, having one deep breath, and then breathing normally. On an inhale, lifting up through the arms, exhaling to our prayer pose, and coming back to that intention one more time, identifying places I may be out of balance, and then identifying one small action step to take care of myself today. Cultivating balance. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. And the light and life in me honors the light and life in you. Namaste.